When the flashing red and blue lights painted the street outside his small house, Jack Turner knew trouble had arrived again. He was a single dad, a former Marine who'd seen more than enough chaos in his lifetime, but tonight, the chaos wasn't his. It was someone else's. Someone rich. Someone powerful. He had just tucked his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, into bed when he heard the screech of tires. A sleek black car, chased by 3 police cruisers, came spinning around the corner and slammed into the curb outside his yard. Jack rushed outside without thinking. The door of the black car burst open, and out stepped a man in a suit, bleeding, terrified, and shouting, "I didn't do it. They're trying to kill me." Jack didn't recognize him at first. But his instincts screamed danger. The man ducked behind Jack's fence as the officers jumped out, weapons drawn. They were shouting commands that didn't sound right. Too aggressive, too personal. Jack's military training kicked in. Something was off. "Sir, step aside," one of the officers barked. Jack stood firm. "Not until you tell me what's going on. He's a suspect in a major fraud investigation," the officer yelled. "Then show me a warrant," Jack replied calmly. That single sentence changed everything. The officers exchanged uneasy glances. One muttered something into his radio. Another tried to grab the billionaire, but Jack stepped in between them. "You're not taking him anywhere until I see paperwork." The tension was thick. Jack wasn't protecting a criminal, he was protecting the truth. His gut told him this wasn't a normal arrest. And within seconds, the men in uniform retreated, frustrated, muttering threats under their breath before leaving. The black car's driver, shaking, looked at Jack like he'd just been saved from execution. The man's name was Alexander Cross, a billionaire tech entrepreneur, one of the richest men in the country. But that night, he looked more like a scared child than a CEO. He sat on Jack's old porch, covered in blood and sweat, explaining how he'd been framed by a corrupt police network working for a corporate rival. Jack didn't care about wealth or fame. He gave the man a glass of water and said, "You're safe here tonight. My daughter's sleeping inside, so keep your voice low." That small act of kindness would change his life forever. By morning, the story hit the news. Billionaire Alexander Cross found safe, police investigation under review. Reporters swarmed the city. Cameras, headlines, chaos. But at Jack's little house, peace remained. He made breakfast for Lily as usual. Eggs, toast, and a smile. He didn't expect what came next. Around 9 a.m., the ground outside began to rumble. Jack peeked through the blinds, and froze. The street was lined with cars. Not just cars, luxury cars. Rolls-Royces, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bentleys, more than 200 of them, stretching down the block. Chauffeurs in black suits stood beside each one. A helicopter hovered overhead with a banner, "Thank you, Jack Turner." Lily ran out, eyes wide with wonder. "Daddy, are those ours?" she asked innocently. Before Jack could answer, Alexander Cross himself stepped out of a silver Rolls-Royce, this time surrounded by security and cameras. But instead of speaking to the press, he walked straight to Jack, extended his hand, and said, "You didn't protect a billionaire. You protected a human being. I owe you my life." Jack smiled modestly. "You don't owe me anything." But Alexander shook his head. "I owe you more than money can pay. But I'll try." He handed Jack a small envelope. Inside was a deed to a 10-acre ranch outside the city, fully paid for. On top of that, a note that read, "For Lily, to grow up free, safe, and happy." The reporters were stunned. Cameras flashed as Alexander continued, "The world needs men like Jack Turner, men who act not for reward, but for what's right." Jack didn't know what to say. He'd spent years struggling, working double shifts, missing sleep, skipping meals just to keep Lily in school. He'd faced judgment, loneliness, and the pain of a veteran trying to fit into a world that had forgotten him. But that day, the world finally saw him. Later that evening, after the reporters left and the cars drove away, Jack sat on the porch with Lily on his lap. She looked up at him and said, "Daddy, why did you help that man?" Jack smiled softly. "Because, sweetheart, one day someone might need to help you. And I want the world to have more people who do the right thing, even when it's hard." The camera zooms in on his tired but proud eyes, the soft glow of the sunset wrapping around father and daughter. Then the narrator's voice fades in gently. "Heroes aren't the ones with money, fame, or power. Sometimes, they're just single dads doing what's right, even when no one's watching. If you believe kindness still matters, if you believe the world needs more Jack Turners. Right finger like this video. Right finger subscribe to the channel. Right finger and never forget, the greatest wealth you can give someone is protection, truth, and love. As the screen fades to black, the final image shows the note again. For Lily, to grow up free, safe, and happy. And in that quiet moment, viewers realize, Jack Turner didn't just protect a billionaire. He protected what humanity is supposed to be.